Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of The Week Ahead. The legislature is entering into a new phase of their work, really starting somewhat this week, but really next week. Public hearings will come to an end. I know Elkred has one tomorrow. It's on a governor's bill. Many of the issues are important to the business community and us, but they've already been covered in other pieces of legislation, so I'm not sure where the bill is eventually headed. But the reality is the committees will be finishing their work. They go into session next week 5 days a week instead of 3. And much of their time will be spent dealing with all the divided reports that are headed their way, and they've been dealing with a lot of, including the mining bill last week, or the mining bills last week. But the real issue is the budget.
Without question.
Without question, they're into that phase where they've begun their negotiations in earnest with leadership and with the Appropriations Committee meeting in caucuses and negotiating. I hate to use the phrase behind closed doors, but privately, to see if they can come up with a solution to the budget problems that they face. And it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be the big question this week is Appropriations Committee working on the budget going into the holiday weekend, and they really got to produce something by next week. But not all committees have completely finished up their work. There's a couple public hearings out there. Just want to highlight one in the Energy and Utilities Committee, LD 1610. This week has to deal with internet privacy legislation in response to the action taken in Washington earlier this year. And this is an issue that's important to Maine businesses, but also to the Maine State Chamber of Commerce, because it really impacts advertising on the internet and what is the definition of privacy. Everyone knows that your private information, your social security number, your address, where you live, all that's already protected by federal law. So what this is internet service history, your web browser history. So when you search for something, then you go and look for something else, you have ads up on your safe. So a lot of small businesses,
they're embedded ads on the side of the site.
A lot of small businesses in the state of Maine use that. That's why if you search for blueberry jam and then on another site, they're trying to sell you blueberry jam. So it's a big issue. There's a public hearing on Wednesday, LD 1610, and stay tuned, we'll be there.
That's really about it. I mean, I guess I would say, stay tuned next week. We'll have, I would assume, some budget information. And hopefully the idea is that by the first of the month, they'll have a document to work on and begin to caucus. So we just have to wait and see now. So thank you for, what were you going to say?
Here's to hoping they get a deal done on the budget.
I mean, the sticking point is the 3%, really, and how to fund education, and that is of critical importance to our organization and to our members in the business community at large in the state of Maine. So, until then, thank you for joining us. This has been this week's edition of The Week Ahead, and we'll see you next week.
Stay classy, Maine.